So I'm going to do a sermon today when we're talking about secrecy and privacy that comes from the work of A.H. Almaas in his book, Essence. It has to do with what do you do when you're feeling a pain that is so distressing to you that either you hide it in secrecy, or if you're very lucky, you might share it in private, but it doesn't get rid of it. And so we all have these moments of distress, of pain, of regret, and sometimes it lodges itself in our hearts and can cause tremendous problems of every kind, physical, mental, and spiritual. And I want to read you something about the Almaas presentation from my book, Emergence, and then try it out. Almaas suggests that whenever we feel anything is deficient, hurts, or painful, we directly experience the deficiencies of ego and recognize that what the ego is attempting to do is already present in essence. The process here is to feel deeply ego's lack or hole, something that is really distressing to you, fear of failure. Let's say in me, it was fear of failure. I had all of these tremendous things to do and a compulsive workaholic, and I couldn't feel like I was succeeding, no matter what I did. So it was a fear of failure. The process here is to feel this lack as a whole and not defend against this feeling or lack, nor come up with any strategies for solving the problem from the egoic point of view. See, from the egoic point of view, it would be work harder, work better, work with somebody else. And it was an endless cycle. So here's the steps we take. First, the beloved. Now, the beloved is whatever you call your true essential self, your God self, your source. The beloved invites the local selves to come forward and describe as deeply as possible any pain or deficiency being experienced. So this is really dealing with the inner secrecy where we hold things in pain and bringing it out in private to get the full story of it. The needs, the wants, the pain. Don't defend against the experience. Don't try to fix it or solve it from the egoic point of view, but rather completely allow the pain to be present. So identify within yourself something that distresses you about yourself and about your place in the world. And let's feel it the whole way in private. We don't need to share this with everybody. Feel its location in the body, its density, its vibration. Second, we stay with that pain and follow it all the way to the root, to the source where we first felt such pain. So whatever that pain is, I'm thinking of fear of failure as the one that has plagued me. So I go back to where I first felt it. And I think it was with my father. You know, as I told you, he said to me, Barbara, you are a crazy fool and you're 100% right. So that was the mixed signal I got from my father, but it hurt because I wanted to please him. So you stay with that pain, whatever it is, the fear of failure, the fear of inadequacy, the fear of mistakes, the fear of whatever it is in you. Let's go the whole way in private, but not in secret. That's how we bring it out. And according to Almaas, when we follow the deficiency as deeply as possible, it leads us to that part of essence, or the beloved, or the source, that the local self has been seeking by trying to have some strategy in the outer world. So if it's feeling a fear of failure, and you're trying to get over that by succeeding in the outer world, that's an endless process. So you feel the failure go all the way in until you feel the deficiency so deeply. And then you let our local selves discover that the fulfillment they've been seeking is already present in the beloved. So you are the beloved source. And when your fear of failure, your fear of whatever it is allowed to go totally into that, the fear dissipates. He describes it, here's a quote from him. When one allows oneself quietly to experience the hurtful wound and memories connected with it, whatever the experience is. So you've got to really feel it all the way. The hurtful feelings. Wow, there's so much pain. But when you do that, what he says is the golden elixir will flow out of it, healing and filling the emptiness with the beautiful sweet fullness that will melt the heart. So in my case, if I go into the fear of failure, and I think of this deeply well-motivated girl wanting to please her father and wanting them to find out the meaning of our power and all of that, I mean, she's adorable. You get to feel her that way. The golden elixir will flow out of it, healing and filling the emptiness with the beautiful sweet fullness that will melt the heart, erase the mind, and bring about the contentment that the individual has been thirsting for. It comes from your own beloved, internal being self, God self. When you bring it all the way in, you have to feel it all the way, not try to protect yourself from it, because it's that feeling of it the whole way that the God self, whatever we wish to call our sourcing self, is able to heal it. Not even that, it gives you the contentment that the ego has been seeking. So let's say the contentment and fear of failure is I'm succeeding at something, whatever it might be. Well, from the point of view of my God self, as this created being that is doing her best, the God self is totally appreciative already. You know, we've been saying in the church, confess your greatness. And it's also confess God's love of you in your expression and your efforts. God's complete sanctioning of that effort within you is where the source of your comfort comes. So ego's search for satisfaction being over, says Almas, because you're not defending, not strategizing, leads you to that part of the pearl, which is capital P, which he called essence, it's been seeking by strategizing. So let's take this in terms of dealing with secrecy and privacy and all the slander and all the destruction of one another that's going on by way of criticism in our current society. And take it all in. Instead of reacting against this one or that one for their outrageous behavior. Go into that source of the beloved where they're striving so much to win, to prevail, to do well. And just on behalf of them, as well as of yourself, the people who are trying to prevail in this world, take it all in to the essence and feel the almost tenderness of God for the striving of humanity to prevail and to be the best and to win and to have power. Wow, let's take it all in the privacy of our heart, in the safety of our source, and that I might say in the security of our evolutionary church. I would like to suggest that our evolutionary church is a seed bed for the new human, is a learning ground for the evolutionary Homo universalis to become self-aware. And that everything that we are feeling that hurts, that's painful, that's upsetting, or that's beautiful, glorious, and wonderful, let's nurture it in the field of the emerging human. And let's imagine ourselves becoming that. And if you do it day by day, whatever your feelings are, take it within to source and let that source of essential self, I call it, express itself with all the dignity and beauty that's in it to give its gift, to be loved and to love. That's the source of it all. I was thinking of that one who had just been fired. He's hired as a communication director who was scatological in the way he talks, swear words after swear words. Finally, in the New York Times, they printed the whole thing. You know, they're always cutting it out. They didn't cut it out. It was really appalling. And this man, Mooch, was trying to prevail and to get that organization in shape. Of course, he's already been fired. He's only been on for a day or two. But in the Church of the Emerging Humanity, we are going to do it a new way. We're going to be an example. We're going to learn how to do this together. And so, although I didn't deal with the public culture of the difference between secrecy and privacy, which I'm sure Mark will do, but I want to do it on the deep psychological level. Let's take all the pain into source. Let it be healed at the source of God within, of source within, of love within, of the beloved within, of the essential self within. And let's come out with the capacity to love, to forgive, and to co-create at the scale that is needed for Homo universalis. So with this, I turn my word to Mark, and I'm so sorry that I can't be with you today. I am at the Arise Festival at Sunrise Ranch, where 10,000 people are speaking, and we are doing something called Humanity Arise. And I'm going to do 2 stories of the evolutionary story with people at the end saying humanity arise and speaking their word into the noosphere to give birth to the new humanity. So I'm doing the work. I'm sorry I'm not with you. I'll be there next week with all my love.